Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 435. The lesson today is how to read years and common errors. So a lot of students sometimes make mistakes when they're actually reading years. So let's just go over how you should do it and what would be the more common way to do it and what way would actually be clearly wrong. So let's look at the first one here. With the years after 10 of a century and below 100 can be read two ways. So we give an example here, like 10, like the AD, 1056. Well, you should either read that as 1056 AD, that would be fine, or you could read it as 1056 AD. So you could read it both ways. You could separate the two digits at first and the second two digits, or you could read it as 1056. Both are pretty common. All right, and remember, just in case some students do forget, or maybe you don't know, the AD actually stands for a Latin term, which is Anno Domini, which actually means year of God. Sometimes I've heard people, even some native speakers, sometimes don't know this. I hear them sometimes say that AD stands for after death, like maybe after Jesus died or something. No, that's not what it stands for. And it makes more sense this way because Anno Domini would be the year of zero. It's supposed to be the year that Jesus is born. All right, BC, of course, means before Christ. So that one is clear. Everybody does know that one. Let's continue. The years before 10 of a century should be read as the first two digits as a set, plus O before the number. This is one that students mess up a lot. So here, if we have it, where you see the AD 1703, this is correct. You should read it as 1703 or 1703 AD. What you don't do is you don't say 1703. You don't say that. Nobody says that. That would be wrong. So again, another example here. This one should be read as 1605. You don't read it as 1605. Okay, let's continue. Years are normally separated into two parts. Okay, so again, where you see the AD 1135, this should be read as 1135 AD. Okay, now is it possible, can you read it as 1135 AD? Yeah, but most people don't. Most people read this way. The other way sounds really kind of long, and in most cases, it's not read that way. All right, AD 1720, this should be read as 1725 AD. Same thing. I mean, could you say the year 1725 AD? You could, but most people don't. It's a bit long. It's not entirely wrong. Okay, good. So here when we say, when a year ends in 00, .00, it could be read as something 100. Okay. So here's an example, AD 150 would be read as 1500 AD, and the same thing, 1400 AD, 1300 AD, 1800 AD, all the same. The plurals sometimes mess up students of ESL. So if you see the 00 year with a little S after it, you actually read it as hundreds. So you would say the 1800s, meaning the whole all the way from the year 1800 to 1899. That would be the 1800s, or the 1700s, from the year 1700 to 1799. Okay, good. Let's continue. All right, now, all right, so because we recently, or not that long ago, only within a few decades, we reached the year 2000. All right, so again, when the year is below 100, there are some differences too. So when it's 200, we should read it as 2000 AD. What we don't do is down here, we don't read it as 2000 AD. We don't read that. You would read that as 2000 AD. Okay. And the same thing, of course, was with 1000 also. We read it as 1000 AD. We didn't say 1000 AD. All right, just make sure you don't do that. All right, let's continue here. All right, now, if it's the future, we might say 2100 AD, though. We might do that. Or, we did, in the past, we'd say 1100 AD. Yeah, if that's what it was, the year 1100, sure. Okay, and let's continue here. Again, we also use the like the O here. So when you see AD 2003, that should be read as we read it as 2003, 2003, or 2010. So we don't read it as O, like we read with the other ones, like we read 1605, 1703. When the year is under 100, you read it as and. So 2003, 2008, 2009, all of those. So you don't read it as 2003. That would be wrong. But we do read the ones below, like 1803, 1703, 1603, but not like this. When it's a new thousand below 100, you read it as 2000 and then the number. Okay, good. Let's go here. All right, now 2010 actually can go both ways. You could read it as 2010, or you could just read it as 2010 AD, basically. So that one can be read actually both ways, that particular year. So it's really from the 01 to 10, it could be read with an and. Okay, and really that's about it. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it's clear. Hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.